Hello, my name is Robert Bird and I'm a candidate in the upcoming election in Amherst, and I'll be running for the office of Town Council. I would be remiss if I didn't also thank my wife Kelly, who's the person who has to put up with most of the electioneering that I do. It does take a fair bit of time. It takes me away from her and our family, and she's been behind me 100% and a tremendous supporter, and I'd like to thank her from the bottom of my heart. I'd also like to thank my friends and other members of my family who have been a big help for all their support and handing out brochures and getting the message out. I certainly couldn't have done it without you, and you all know who you are, and I thank you very much. Growing up on Lesby Street in the 1960s, everybody knew me as Robbie. I was looking through some of my old minor hockey coats the other day. My Pee Wee Mac, my Batum Legionnaire, my midget bomber jackets all have Robbie on the name band. By the time I arrived at the Amherst Junior Ramblers, the name band said Rob. In 1979, when I went to Dalhousie University in Halifax, the name band had changed to Robert. I guess at that time I decided that Robbie didn't sound quite as grown up as Robert, and I opted for the more mature sounding Robert. But whether you know me as Robert or whether you know me as Robbie, the most important thing is to vote Bird on October 18th for a better Amherst. When I was trying to decide what to say in the 3 minutes that was allotted to me for the introduction during the candidates forum last week, I decided that the most important thing that I could do would be to make a good first impression. I believe that making a good first impression is important, so I went out and I bought myself a new pair of socks, some new underwear, and a new shirt as well. And it's not that there was anything wrong with the old stuff, it's just that sometimes new is better. So I went down to Manzor's to do my shopping because I believe it's important to buy local. And when I was in there, Keith asked me why I was running for council. And it all started for me when I read in the newspaper that the town of Amherst was considering selling Alexandra, the train car that was built in 1905 right here in Amherst by Rhodes Curry Company. It was built at the bequest of the Governor General Earl Grey, who is also the same gentleman who the Grey Cup is named after. I couldn't believe that we were even considering selling such a historic monument when the town is crying for something like that. What we really need is to give the people who are driving by Amherst every day and every weekend a reason to come here. And I saw the train car and all the historical significance that goes with it as being perhaps an attraction that would be useful for the town to promote itself better. Kings and queens and heads of states and prime ministers have all dined and traveled in this train car, and the historical significance is incredible, and I just couldn't believe, and I still can't believe, that we actually sold it. So that's what started it all for me. I mentioned the importance of making a good first impression. One of the things that I think the town needs to do a whole lot better job at is the entrances to our town on both ends of the town, on LaPlante Street as well as West Amherst, and even the main entrance out by the malls could probably be spruced up a little bit, or at least better signage on the highway. It wouldn't take a whole lot of effort, nor would it take a whole lot of money, I don't think, to have something that was much more pleasing and might even invite people to come into town. For example, the Cello sign is an example of what a welcome sign could look like, and obviously a world-class organization such as this has deemed it important enough to make a positive enough impression to spend a little money and put a little effort into the care and upkeep of the sign that they use. And I think the town of Amherst deserves better as well. I also took the time to paint all my signposts white. It's one of those very little things. It didn't cost a lot of money and it didn't take a whole lot of time, but I think the result is simply a whole lot better. As I said, first impressions count, and they count for a lot. Another thing that's been troubling me a great deal, and it seems to be getting a lot of interest in the community, is the lack of a skate park for our youth. Everybody says the youth are our future, and we talk a lot about the importance of youth, but we never seem to get around to doing much about it. A skate park in the town of Spring Hill was built for only $10,000. The skate park that's being built in Chester at a price tag of $750,000. So all I can say for certainty is somewhere between $10,000 and $700,000. I'm sure the hundreds of kids that enjoy skateboarding in Amherst could have a nice place and a safe place to do it. And if as a town we're not prepared to assist them in getting the skate park that they so rightly deserve, at least we should get out of the way and let them build their own. I think we owe it to the kids, and it's something that the town could get behind and be proud of, and I don't see any reason why we shouldn't be able to have one by June of 2009. Another issue that was recently been in the paper that troubles me a great deal is the ongoing feud between the town of Amherst and the county. We're a small region, and we simply have to pull together and get along a whole lot better in order to attract the types of industries and the types of tourist events that we can both prosper from. And perhaps in the new spirit of cooperation that was recently touted in the paper between the town and the county, as a tangible example of that, perhaps one thing that we could do right away is to build a sidewalk from the town out by the malls through the county to the new hospital, so people that are unfortunate enough to have to go to the hospital and can't get a drive at least have a decent place to walk. Another area that the town, I believe, has been very, very poor at communicating what goes on at council with the members of the community. Citizens don't seem to have an opportunity to voice their opinions and voice their concerns in a meaningful, ongoing basis, and the communication coming from the town to the citizens seems to be sporadic at best. So perhaps one of the things that we could take better advantage of in terms of, public forums or speakers' corners or whatever you want to call it is the bandstand that's downtown. In addition to using that facility for summer concerts and that sort of thing, perhaps it could be used as a meeting place and a place to exchange ideas. One of the things that we simply have got to do a better job at in order to have any amount of prosperity and give ourselves an opportunity to provide the types of jobs that our youth would want to stay in town for would be at promoting Amherst as an industrial site, a manufacturing site, and a tourist destination. On my website, I have outlined my thoughts on economic development in a great deal of detail, but initially what we need to do is try to get some of the people that are driving by Amherst on a daily basis to stop by for a weekend sporting event or for some sort of a conference or what have you. The town of Amherst needs to get behind all the service organizations and all the teams in town, and anybody that's trying to host an event that would see visitors come to our town, stay for a couple of days and spend a few dollars. The town really needs to get behind that and support these people in any way that they possibly can. When I was growing up, we had the Blueberry Harvest Festival, so I don't know if it would be something like that. Motorcycling is very popular these days, and it's been a tremendous economic boom for Moncton and Yarmouth and lots of places that are motorcycle friendly. So there's lots of opportunities, and I don't see any reason why Amherst can't get some of the traffic going by us already off the highway and into our town on an ongoing basis. And I don't see any reason why we can't get something started with that right away. Friday, October the 10th at the Amherst Curling Club, I will be hosting an open house. So if you have some questions, if you have some comments or some suggestions for what you think would be useful in our town, or you want to come by just to say hello, to show your support for Robert Byrd on the 18th, you're more than welcome. I'd like to see a big crowd out there. We're going to have some food around, we're going to have some entertainment, and we should be able to have a little bit of fun as well. So that's on Friday, October the 10th at the Amherst Curling Club, starting at 6 o'clock. I'll be staying there till everybody's gone and has their questions answered. And most importantly of all, it's important to make your voice heard on October the 18th. And for a better Amherst, I would appreciate it if you would vote Robert Byrd. Thank you.